Alright, so what year was this when you took the ship to Korea?
I took the ship, I think it was in about March of 1957, and I left Korea, come home. I was there 13 months, a little longer. I came home in May, so actually it was about 14, I guess, until I got back to the United States.
So this was after the war, though?
This was all after the war, right? The war was over, and we were there just as an occupation force, kind of a backup force for the Korean military that was just really getting organized. Korea had been occupied by Japan for 29 years previous to WW2, and so they really didn't have much on their own going yet. Today, they're a great economy and everything is modern. You have modern roads. Probably some of their roads are better than our roads right now. And but it took them a long time. But they are a democracy, and we still have a lot of troops stationed over there. And North Korea, of course,
military state.
The head of North Korea has always been a warmonger, and his son has taken over now, and he still has one of the biggest armies in the world. But we have a lot of nuclear weapons, and I think our troops are probably better trained and better prepared to help the South Korean army if necessary.
But
it's a lot different than when I was there.
In the 50s,
yeah.
How was the North Korean army compared to South Korean and the U.S. forces? Were they a threat?
They were still a threat, yeah. But in fact, I was stationed about 20 miles from the DMZ, which was the border between North and South Korea. And if North Korean troops ever did come over that hill, why, we were supposed to just, it was a combat unit there, the 7th Infantry, but we were just attached to them, helping build things. And we would have hightailed it back towards Seoul immediately and got out of there because we weren't in combat. At least that was the plan. You never know until something happens, how fast you have to react and what happens. But you always had a weapon very close to the hand and ready to fight if it was necessary. So.
What kind of duties did you have while you were over there? What kind of stuff did you do on a day-to-day basis?
I worked basically as in a drafting room, but at times you'd help anything that's necessary in the way of unloading timber and wood that 2x4s and 2x6s and so on and so forth. You're going to need to build things. We had a Quonset. We lived in a Quonset, but the Quonset was pretty bad. We used to take some tape from our drafting room, take it down and try to tape up some of the holes in the wintertime so that cut off the draft coming in. And all you had was a potbelly stove, and if that went out, why, pretty cool conditions. The conditions were rough there. The Koreans at that time were a backward nation yet, and it didn't take long with our support. I'm talking about the United States of America's support and money to get them started, and they become a real good economy. They've done well, and it's a country to be proud of probably now. The same as I was entitled to 2 R&Rs. R&R is rest and recuperation, and what you do is you fly from Kippo Air Base in Seoul to Tachikawa in Japan, and then you could go where you wanted, but most everybody I knew always went into Tokyo, and there were R&R hotels there that were very reasonable, and you had fantastic meals with silver on the table and tablecloths, and it was a lot nicer than eating out of met Kit in the rain in Korea, and so it was nice. It was nice to be able to see Tokyo, and it offered a lot. And I was extremely impressed at a couple of their department stores. They had escalators already, and here in Lansing, we had only gotten those maybe 10 years previous to that. Japan had them too, so they were a pretty modernized country. So, and
You spent both your R&Rs in Japan?
I had two. I spent the one in Japan. The second one, I was going to go to Hong Kong with a friend of mine. In fact, we'd already had orders cut. And at that time, the outfit that I was in, which was the 84th Headquarters Battalion, deactivated. In other words, the colors from that unit were brought back to the United States, and another unit was sent over with people that were in the United States to replace us. So they canceled, R&Rs were canceled, even though we had them